Hi, good morning, everybody. Happy
Hi,
Wednesday.
everyone.
Yeah, Anna and I are back for another super fun Bella Crafts live.
Yes,
So, yeah, I don't
Lisa's
know.
voice is a little off today.
It's a little off today. So, sorry that we're a little bit late. We were gabbing beforehand. It always happens. But we are so excited to be here. Well, before I do all that, why don't we back up and introduce ourselves for those of you that are watching for the very first time? My name is Lisa Rojas, and this is my business partner and very good friend, Ann Butler. And
Yes.
we own Bella Crafts Publishing. Um, Bella Crafts Publishing, we put out a free ebook, a crafty ebook that we put out 4 times a year.
Hi, Penny.
Hi, Penny. Summer issue just came out. So we're excited about that. And like I said, it's digital, it's absolutely free. All you need to do is head over to our website and sign up for it, and it'll go right into your inbox. And then every time we have a new issue, it'll go directly into your inbox. So,
I'm going to make you large for a minute so I can grab something.
okay. So we're excited, that summer issue is out. There's a lot of fun crafts and stuff in there, projects and stuff for you guys to see. Good morning, Amy.
Hi, Amy.
But today, well, before I go into what we're doing today, I know I keep backtracking. Why don't you tell them about our ebooks?
Okay, so we have ebooks with fabulous designers, and we also do ebooks for manufacturers that aren't on our website. But today we have a brand new ebook that just released. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Angie, which is, let me see, can you see that?
Yes,
Zentangle Basics. It is
yes,
with Cindy Shepard. She is a certified Zentangle artist. And there she is. She's so cute.
yes,
She
she
is
is.
just adorable.
She's amazing.
And
Amazing.
in this ebook, let me see if I can get to, okay, so there's supplies. Let me get to patterns. Okay, so
Yes,
in here, it takes you step by step through every step, like, okay, make hash lines, okay, draw on the corners, everything you do. There's over 15 patterns in here. And then at the end of the book, we have a gallery that shows some of her beautiful work. And this one in particular is 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches. Look at how tiny some of those lines are. And it looks bigger on your screen than it really is. So
right.
it is just little tiny miniature pieces of art.
It's it, there.
It's
I don't even know what to say. When I was, going through it yesterday, looking through the edits and stuff, making sure that, everything was okay. I got so focused on the different patterns and what Cindy was doing in the ebook that I was like skipping over what I was supposed to be doing.
well, I mean, it
Yeah.
is very cool. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi, Becca.
So, yeah, it takes you, most of the patterns have 4 steps. Some have 5, 6. One of them has like, some of them have 8, but
Yeah.
take you step by step. There's a little blurb underneath saying what she's doing in the pictures. And it is such a cool ebook. I will put a link in here because it's not showing. I don't have it showing on the website yet. I wanted to tell you guys about it first. So
Yeah.
yeah, you will love this brand new ebook from Cindy. It is fabulous.
Yes.
But I
Hi,
will put the link
Karen.
in.
Hi, Sylvia. Yeah, Anne's gonna put when I switch my cameras over to do the project. Anne is going to put all the links in on everything that we're talking about, so you won't miss anything. But today we're really excited about the Zen Tangle book because it's just such a cool, such a cool art form. And
Yeah.
I just want to say, when I first saw it, I was like, oh man, this is way too hard. I couldn't do this. This would make me crazy. I would shoot myself in the head. But then when I was looking in the book, she's got step by step by step with the pictures and very simple 1, 2 line instructions. And I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I can Zentangle.
Well,
Watch me. I'm
and
going to do something to share with you guys.
this is going to be a series of books. So this is, hi, Valerie.
Hi,
Hi,
Valerie.
Sylvia. This is very basics.
Yes.
In a lot of, Cindy has done other Zentangle books and has been part of other Zentangle books. And usually, they show the pictures, they don't put any words. And I said, for this one, I really want something below every picture. Just
Yes.
saying, okay, connect the lines, draw them. Even though you can tell by the picture, it just makes it so much easier.
It makes
So
it so
there
much
again
easier.
is
Yeah.
the cover. It is fabulous. That is one of her. I think this one is like 4 inches, and see, I made it huge for the cover of the book.
It's
But it is
beautiful.
so fabulous. You guys will love this. And for all of those that pre-ordered, thank you. That was sent out to you a couple hours ago. You all got a copy of the book, those that have pre-ordered. So
Yeah.
yes.
And then they can order today.
Yep, I'll put the link in here.
There we
The
go.
link will be live on our website after my live, but I have a link available for you guys. Actually, I can grab it right now if
Okay.
and
All
put it
right.
in right
Amy.
now.
Oh, okay. Amy says that she bought some pens to do Zentangles last year. Okay, she's gonna have to go find them. Yeah, I'm telling you, I was so excited about this book that I went and bought um my micron pens
Mm-hmm.
so I
I
could
know
start
I have a
doing
whole
this.
set of 6 of them too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like so excited about this because you could even use this in your card making without doing like a whole design. Because when I was looking at it, I was looking at some of the elements separate. And I
Mm-hmm.
was thinking, oh, you could add that in the corner of a card or down for a border. Just,
She even took, I have my black and white papers for foiling.
yeah,
She even took some of the flower patterns and Zentangled inside of them.
yeah. See,
It's
that's,
so cool. So
yeah,
this book is the basics. And from here, we'll go on with other books that will introduce color, introduce glitter and sparkle, and um, get a little more creative.
yeah. So
Watercolor
excited.
accents are good for the Zentangle doodles. Yes, Karen, I agree.
Okay. I was reading Karen's other comment. She's been a busy girl.
Yes.
I get it. I get it. Ann and I both get the whole busy girl thing because sometimes I feel like our lives are just it's never going to stop. Never
I
going to
am
stop.
in the process of rebuilding our website
Yeah.
and doing ebooks. And I have a conference next week. Yeah, I'm busy.
Yeah,
Um,
she's
Angie bought a whole set of pens after taking Cindy's class at BellaCon.
that's
Yeah.
right.
So now the book is available. You will love it.
Oh, it's so awesome. I can't wait to carve out some time to play.
Well, the cool part is you can do it even while you're watching TV. If you're sitting there with your husband or your family or whatever,
Yep.
you can just sit because it's a relaxing
Yeah.
form of art. You need I would say watercolor paper, but you can use cardstock. You can use just paper. Micron pens are fabulous, but if you don't have them, start with pencil.
Yeah.
Even things in pencil could be beautiful.
Yeah. Super, super easy. I mean, it looks so complicated, but when
Yeah.
she broke it down, it was just like, oh wow, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for you guys. You're gonna love this book. Okay, so today we are working with Royal Talens. Um, again, there we go, and showing the paint set that we're working with today.
It is so fun.
It is so fun. Um, and I'm gonna watercolor. I'm gonna show you how to watercolor with these paints. And I put a card together last night really quick, and you'll be able to see it better when I put my camera down. I'll show you again.
Isn't that pretty?
But that's what we're gonna be doing. And
That big, huge flower.
yeah, well, because as I'm going along, I'm going to be explaining some things too. So I'm going to talk about the big huge flower there. So I can't think of anything else.
There's lots of things, but we need to get to the project.
Yeah, let's do that. All right, so you guys, I'm going to switch my cameras. You guys talk amongst yourselves, and
Okay. Yep. So we are using these Van Gogh watercolors today, and they're from Royal Talens, which
yeah,
Lisa has her set open there, and I'm going to pop out and
yep,
put links in for you guys. Isn't that cool? Because it comes in that little case.
yeah. And what I did was I took the cover off of it because it just snaps on, and then I used it for my palette. So yeah, this is what we're working with today. Actually, nope, this way. I still keep forgetting. Um, but again, let me show you the card. Okay, so this is the card that we're doing, and this is very basic watercoloring with paints. Very basic, you know. Um, I don't want anybody to feel intimidated about watercoloring because it is really very, very simple. There's just a few rules that that you got to do, but other than that, you know, it's pretty easy to do. So this is what we're going to be doing today. And I also wanted to show you, this is the paper, the watercolor paper that I'm using. Now this is 140 weight. Okay, so this is some good watercolor paper. But what I wanted to show you guys real quick, when you buy this, you'll see, okay, so you open it up, right? Well, the first thing that you're going to do when you open up some paper is you want to pull it off, right? You want to go to the side and pull it off. Well, I wanted to show you this so if you guys got some, you wouldn't be frustrated. This has got gummy around the sides, the bottom, and part of the top to keep the papers in the pad. But what you're going to do is there's this area up here. There's a little area about that big that you pull, and then you can do this to take your paper out. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys that just for the simple reason that I didn't want you to get the pad and be frustrated about, oh my gosh, how do you get this open? So
True.
so
It's true.
yeah, so there it is. You just got that little corner up there, and that's what you're going to yank on. Okay, so let me get started here. I'm going to start by sliding this over to the side. I'm going to start by putting my paint into my palette here. Now, you do not need a lot of this paint at all. And you're going to see that as I'm working with it. I mean, it is very, I want to say pigmented.
Highly pigmented.
Highly pigmented. Yes, it's just beautiful colors. And this is the basic set. This is the Van Gogh set that I'm using today. And I'm only going to be using, I think, four of the colors. So we're going to start by just adding this color into my little palette here. Oh, this one's tight. Ah, there we go. I've got paint all around it and I need to clean it out really good. So I want to say, when you're watercoloring, you want lots of paper towels. Okay. So make sure that you have some paper towels handy. And then you want your water, of course. All right. I'm going to try to put this back on real quick. I need to clean it out though. And I am a messy painter. I'll just tell you that right now. I am a messy painter. I get it all over my hands. My mom used to say, if you're crafting and your hands aren't dirty, you're not crafting enough.
But yet she cleans that top of the palette off so well.
Yeah, well, you know me, I can be a little weird about stuff like that.
Wait until they see mine. It is a tool to be used.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, I'm using it.
I know.
I just like it mine really clean. All right. So I've got my palette. And then also, like I said, some paper towels. Here I've got some Q-tips. These are just in case I have too much water and I want to, I want to get some of the water off. And then I've got two things of water that I'm using. This is going to be my clean water over here. Okay, this is my clean water. And then over here on this side of me is where I'm going to clean my brush out and, when I switch my colors. So for this, now you can use watercolor brushes. They're, all over the place. I'm not real big on the watercolor brushes, just because even when I watercolor with my pencils, because I can control the water better with a paintbrush. So I don't know if it's just because I'm old school and that's why, but you can use a water brush. I prefer a paintbrush. And then I also have another brush that I'm going to use for my water, my clear water. Okay, so we're going to start out. Now for this, what I did was I cut a panel out of the watercolor paper, and I cut it out in 4.5 or 4.25 by 5.5, regular card size. Let me move this up out of the way here a little bit. Okay. And then what I did for this particular one, I was telling Anne my intention when I started was to stamp my image and then watercolor it, right? Well, I realized as I was going through all of my floral stamps, the majority of them are sunflowers.
Imagine that.
Imagine that, you guys, right? I mean, you guys that have been following me for some time know that I am, crazy about sunflowers. So I didn't want to use sunflowers, although I did use some yellow in this. But what I did was I used my Cricut. So I pulled the design from my Cricut, and then I put a micron pen in, because when I first did it, I used a regular Cricut the black pen that comes, that they have you use with the Cricut. And I printed out like 4 or 5 of them so I could play and stuff. And then when I went to get started, I realized that it wasn't permanent ink. And I put the water on and it went whoosh. And it was horrible. So I had to go to plan B, where I went and I put my micron pen in my Cricut machine, and then I printed this out. Okay, now the reason why I'm using this big floral image is because when you're first learning how to watercolor, you want something that's really big and open so you have more room to experiment and play. So that's the reason why I use this big design of, flowers. I just wanted to, it's easier to start with when you're just beginning. Okay, so now we are ready to rock and roll. So, what I'm going to do, okay, I'm going to say this just once. Water is your friend when you are watercoloring, especially with paints. Okay, so use your water. Don't limit it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here, and I'm going to start with my plain water brush, and I'm going to do my yellow first because I want to do my light colors before I go into my dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work in segments. So I'm going to take my water brush and add some water just like this to my image. And then I'm going to come in with my color here. And I want you to also remember when you're doing this that you want to go light when you're watercoloring. As far as you can always add more, but you can't take away, right? So you just want to start off in the middle. This is just the simple way. I do this pretty much with my pencils when I'm working with those. And I'm just going to start in the center here and lay down some color. And then I'm going to come back in and wet my brush a little bit. And then I'm going to pull this color up. Okay, we're going to pull it up just like that. And like I said, you can always add more color. So when you first start, go light, and then you can come back in and add more color if that's what you want to do. Okay, so we're just going to pull that color right there and just bring it out to your edges. Now, like I said, I'm not a watercolorist by any means. I'm not a professional at this. It's just something that I like to do. I find watercoloring really relaxing. Um, but again, I use my pencils most of the time. But I really love working with the paints. It came out they work just really, really well for me. All right, so I've got that first color laid down, and then I'm going to come over here to the center of my other flower, and I'm going to add some water here just for that center. I'll pull some of that up, and then again, take my paintbrush, dip it in my paint, and then I'm going to add the yellow to the center here. Okay, so again, if you have too much water, that's why you have cotton balls or paper towels, because you can just go back and lift that up, and then you're not saturating your paper. Like I said, this is 140 weight, so you're pretty. It's going to take a lot of water to go through this paper because it's pretty thick. Okay, so for right now, I'm going to leave the yellow alone, and then I'm going to go into my flower here with my blue. So again, I'm going to wet my brush. I'm going to start right down here, just add some water. And another way that you can do this too, if you don't want to add your water with the brush, you can take a sprayer and spritz the water on to your paper also. It just depends on, what you like to do best. Okay, so you want to make sure that you get your brushes cleaned in between. And then I'm going to go in here with this really beautiful blue. And we need some more water for this. So you can see you're using very, very little paint. I mean, this just goes on forever. It's so good, especially because supplies and stuff are not cheap anymore. So, you want to be able to use as many as you can. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit more water here because I was too busy yakking. So I'm going to lay my water down again. And the reason, and this is what I love too about adding the water first. Can you see how that just fans out? Let me lift it for you guys.
It bleeds. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Can you see how it bleeds? That's what gives it that beautiful watercolor look. That's what you want when you're using paints. You want that beautiful effect. I just love seeing that. So again, we're going to take this and we're going to pull the colors back here, right out to on my center. Okay. And then add a little bit more water here. And you can see too, I just love how this spreads. It just looks so pretty. Okay, also just a little tip. I don't know if you noticed, but my water containers are on opposite sides of me. I've got my clear one over here on my right and then my paintbrush one over here on my left. I did that because it helps keeping you from dipping your paintbrush into your clean water. So if you keep it separated, it's going to be better. All right. So again, we're just going to keep working with this. I'm going to bring this up. Add some water up in here. And then once I get this first part down, if I want to go back in and add highlights, then I can do that. But I like to lay my first layer down first. And sometimes that's all I want. Sometimes that first layer is looks pretty enough where I don't need to go back in and add highlights and stuff. So again, you're just going to pull that. And I don't know if you have noticed, but when I'm painting, especially a big area, I am laying my color down with the side of my brush. Okay. When I want to get into a tight spot, then I'm going to use my point. But when I'm laying out big color like this, yeah, you really want to work it that way. All right. So I'm going to add some more water up in here. And so far I'm just really loving how it's turning out. The colors are just blending so beautifully that I, I don't think I'm going to have to go back in and add any different. And when you're doing your painting like this, that's the reason why you want to start with your dark and then pull your light from that, your light color from that. And that's what's going to give you the dimension and stuff that you want on your image. Okay, so I'm going to turn this around just a little. And I'm going to add some more water to finish out my flower here. All right, and up in there. So again, I'm going to lay that dark color down. And then every once in a while, you'll see me tap my brush onto my paper towel. And that's, because I've got too much water on there or there's too much color and I want to pull some of it off before I put it on my paper. So this is really very, very simple, basic watercoloring. And it is different, obviously, than using pencils, because with pencils, what you're going to do, what you do with those is you lay down your color, right? You're going to like color in your image, and then you're going to go back in with a watercolor or a paintbrush and add your water that way. So this is a little bit different. Whoops, see, I almost put my paintbrush in the wrong water. Don't want that. That's why I told you.
That's what I would do.
I know. Well, I mean, last night when I was painting last night, I kept putting my paintbrush into my water, and I was like, okay, that's just not going to work. All right, so I'm going to flip this back around so I can look at it. And my hands, sorry guys, my hands going numb. Okay. Hope I don't drop anything. All right, so then I'm just going to add a little bit of color right there. Now, I've got this down. I've got the colors down. And of course, once it dries, it's going to light up too. So this is where I want to stop and I want to look and I want to go, okay, do I want to, add more color? Do I want to take away more color? This is the part where you're going to make that decision. So for me, I'm going to pull some of this color here. I'm going to pull some of that out because that's a little bit dark and I don't want it that dark. So I'm going to come back in with my brush and then just pull it back from the edge, pull it back into the center. There. That's going to lighten that up. It really is very simple. This is just a very simple, easy way to watercolor with paints. Or, you could do the same thing with pigment pens or water pens. You guys know what I'm trying to say. All right. That I kind of like that. I think that looks really pretty. I know
It's pretty. It is pretty.
It looks harsh on camera, but when you're looking at it in person, it really is very, very pretty. And it's got that nice watercolory look. So I think right there, I'm going to pull this part right here just a little bit. And see, this is the other thing that I love about paints when you're using them, because with pencils, once you lay that color down with your pencil, you can't take it off. Where with watercolor paints, you can go back in and, just add more water and then pull that color off. And then if it's too light and you want it dark again, then you just go back in and add more color. And a lot of times what I like to do too is just kind of wait just a little bit to let it dry a little to see, if I need to add anything else. Now I can, if I want, to go in. Need some more paint here. Okay. I know you love these colors, Becca. I know this is my very favorite color combination, and I know you guys probably get tired of seeing it because I use it a lot, but I really really love it. I just really love it. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up a little bit more paint, and then maybe add some little bit of highlights here. You don't want to put anything super heavy because the whole thing with watercolors is to make it look like the paint is flowing. You want to make your picture look like it's flowing. Okay, so I'm going to go back in here and just add a little bit. And then wipe my brush off again. And then I can go in and blend that. So see, you want to go and lay your color down and then come back with your brush and just plain water, and then move that color around, that move that highlight around so it blends in much better. Okay, that's pretty. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and finish these last couple flowers. I hope you guys aren't bored just watching me color. Hi, Eileen. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to come in here. I did have this when I was working on this yesterday. I did have a purple that's in the paint set that I was going to use, but it was too dark and too dramatic. So I decided not to use it, to just do the blue and the yellow. So again, I'm going to take my plain water and I'm going to add some color. Add some water, sorry. And you can't do this without adding the water first. But if you do, you're going to have harsher colors. So just keep that in mind. If you want the color to be really dark, then that's fine. You don't need to necessarily use water on your base. But if you want it light, then you definitely want to use your water. And again, the water is just helping to spread the paint. All right, so we got to make sure that we get all those little edges. And now I'm going to wipe this off. And I'm cleaning my brush a little bit. And then I'm going to go back in again and I'm going to pull the color. And you see how I'm using the side of my brush? That helps a lot to lay the color down evenly. That's the term I want to use, evenly. Because a lot of times if you're using the tip, you're going to get solid color. So if you lay your brush to the side, then it's going to flow much better. All right, so add some more. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more color in here. And sometimes if you've got too much water, it's going to pull like it's doing right here. So again, take your Q-tip or paper towel or whatever you've got handy and just kind of dab that off. And then you're going to go back in and then just cover it up. All right, got to make sure we get this little edge over here. There we go. Okay, and then I'm pulling this color down here from the bottom because it's a little dark. You don't, with watercolors, you don't want, you know, broad strokes. You know, you want everything to flow. There we go. Now this center here is still really wet. And if I continue to add water to it, it's just going to water it down. So I'm going to leave it alone and let it dry for a little bit. And then I'll go back in and add my color. Okay, so another thing that you can do too is you can skip petals when you're doing flowers. You can skip your petals, and that way when you're painting this one, you skip this one here, and then you go here. You can do it that way also. So it just depends on what, you know, what you're most comfortable with. For me, I like doing it just like this. All right, so for this last two little flowers here, again, I'm just going to lay my color down. It's very, it's relaxing to watch me paint, Amy. Okay, well, that's good to know because I was wondering if you guys were going to be falling asleep here.
As long as you keep talking.
Yeah, I know. I know, right? Well, you know, that's one thing that nobody has ever said to me, that I don't talk much, you know.
You're giving lots of information. It's good.
Or that I'm shy. Yeah, that term never has gotten used with me. All right, so this one I want a little bit darker. And with watercolors too, you know, if you're going to go into it and, you know, and I mean, really become a professional, then I can't help you because I don't have any professional tips. But to just sit and, you know, and do this, you just gotta just do it, you know. Don't overthink it. Just color like you would with crayons, you know, when you were a kid. And it doesn't have to be, your flowers don't have to be realistic. They don't have to be the same color that, you know, they're supposed to be. I'm not even sure what kind of flower this is, to be honest. But you know, I thought, yeah, it's going to be blue. Big shocker there. But yeah, don't worry about, you know, your stuff being realistic and all of that. It does not matter. It's kind of, this is kind of like mixed media where, you know, anything goes. And this, with me showing you guys how to do it this way, this kind of takes some of the fear out of it. Because a lot of times people don't want to watercolor because they're afraid that it's, you know, they're not going to do it right. There really is not a wrong way to do it. You know, like I said, you obviously have little tips that I've shared with you guys today that, you know, to do to make your watercoloring more successful. But other than that, it's, but you know, however you want to do it. And that makes it fun. Well, hi, Brenda from Arizona. Thanks for coming to hang out with us. All right, so I'm going back over this one flower because, like I told you, it was a little bit too wet for me. So I wanted to let it dry a little bit so then I could come back in and then just kind of move my color around. And again, I'm just using the side of my brush here. And there. Okay, so now I can go back in. And if I want, this is where I'm going to use my tip again. And then lay down some stronger color here. That's got a lot of water on it. And then you can add some pretty highlights in there. Okay. Now I want to go back and blend these in just a little bit. But you see how easy this is, you guys? I knew that you guys were going to love doing this. All right, I'm going to stop fussing with it because I can sit and fuss all day long if I want. And normally I probably would. But I'm going to stop for that. And then right now I'm just going to lay down some of the green here for my stems and my leaves. There's not a whole lot of them, and I've got more paint on here than I would use in 10 projects. Because as you can see, you guys can still see these globs of paint that I have on here, right? That's, this, it lasts a while. Yeah. All right. So we're going to add some of this green in now. All right. Now I'm going to add, now these are smaller areas. Okay. So I'm not, it's not the big, huge area of flower. The stems and stuff and leaves are smaller. So you don't need a whole lot. And you're just going to go in and just lay that green in there. And that right there is a little bit too dark for me. So I'm going to come back and lift some of that color up because I really don't want it that green. But we're going to go ahead and finish coloring this. Oh, thank you, Dorothy. I hope you guys are learning and you want to try this. It's so relaxing. I could sit here and do this all day. All right. So, as I said, a little bit too much green for me up in here. So I'm going to pull some of that back out. There we go. All right. There. Pull some of this green out from the bottom here. Okay, so I'm going to lay that water down and then I'm going to take a clean Q-tip and kind of dab it. And that's going to also lift your color. There we go. Yeah, that's how I want it. The green was just a little bit too bright for the rest of my colors here. All right, so oh God, my voice sounds terrible. All right, so I'm just kind of just fussing, just making these little, areas look a little bit smoother. But like I said, you don't really have to do a lot on these little tiny areas. All right, so there you go. That's how easy it is to watercolor.
It is beautiful.
I love this. So now what I would do you guys want me to finish the card, or you want to I'll just show you the finished project. It's up to you. You guys decide. In the meantime, I'll get some of this stuff up out of the way.
Well, I think you did a great job.
Oh, yay. Okay. Well, I hope that you try it. It really is, it's so relaxing. And again, you can't really make mistakes with this. Okay, so what I would do then,
Well, Rebecca says finish. At least you can show them what you would do with it. Yeah.
okay, so what I'm going to do from here is cut the image out. Okay, so I'm going to do that real quick. And it's probably not going to be really cute because I'm going to do it quickly. But you guys can see what I did. This actually, you can actually die cut this with your Cricut. You could put the setting on it to where it would cut it out. But this watercolor paper was kind of thin and what I mean kind of thick. And when I first started working on it, I didn't know if I wanted to cut it out or not. So I just went ahead and printed it without having to cut it out. But the Cricut would have done it for me if I would have had it set. All right, so we're just gonna quickly do this. Get some of those edges off. You see how fast you can be with scissors?
And fussy cutting a bigger object is easier.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to try this with something smaller. I mean, at least time wise. All right, so I'm gonna finish this up. And then also remember, guys, that I'm going to be doing a blog post on this. It'll be up on our website Sunday. So if you want, written instructions, you can go there. I also will have step-by-step photos like I always do. So you can go there and see it again. And then, if you prefer written instructions to video, then there you go. We've got you covered on both ends. Okay. So, and I forgot to ask you, do we have a giveaway for?
We do have a giveaway. Actually, Royal Talens is giving away the watercolor sets we're using today, and it's like a $73 value.
Wow.
It is because watercolors come in a wide range of prices, but this is really a highly pigmented, high quality artist set. So fabulous.
This is definitely not, just some fun watercolor that you can buy at the store kind of thing, All right, so to finish it off, what you would do then, move this out of the way. Okay, so I cut my base card. And, I didn't do anything fancy with this just because, I wanted the focus to be more on watercoloring than, doing something really cool with the card, putting it together. But just so you know, so this is 5 1/4 by 6. Okay. And then I've got my pattern paper here. So we're going to add that real quick to the base. Let me make sure I got my tip cleaned. Oh, all right. I really am going to have to make a new one of these that I use because this one is so old. And
I don't know if
but
I'd recognize it if you made a new one.
I know, well, and I don't because this is the one that my mom her, so
Yep.
I just keep using it. All right, if I could get my glue out. Come on. All right, it's going a little bit. All right, so we're going to just layer this down. I did do the this part, the pattern paper is actually 5 inches by 5 3/4. Okay. And then we've got this yellow. This is 4 1/2 by 5 1/4. So what I'm going to do here then before I put it down, and I don't have any more of this pretty ribbon. I ran out of it last night. I had one tiny little piece left. So what I'm going to have to do is I grabbed another one. And then what I did here, just cut a couple pieces of ribbon. And then on the corners here, and I'm going to take my tape runner. On the corners here, I just laid that down on the corner. And then flip it over. And then add your tape. Okay. So there's the one. And then I definitely, I'm going to try and do this with my glue. Because I want to make sure if you don't glue your ribbon down, it's going to pop up. So if you don't want your ribbon popping up, which I don't, then just lay just a little bit of glue just to hold that ribbon down. Okay, so we've got that one. That one's kind of off just a little bit. I didn't do it quite that drastic of an angle, but that's all right. We're just doing it as we go. All right. Make sure that, there we go. Okay, so you're going to add these just little corners here. All right. There we go. And like I said, this one is way too far up. I don't like that at all. So I'm moving it. That's better. Okay. And then now you're just going to take this piece and add it to your base. Do your layers. As you know, we love layers. Well, Lisa loves layers. All right. So now you've got your base. So then what I did from there was added some foam tape because I wanted it to pop up just a little. I didn't want a big, huge pop up. And I'm not going to add a whole lot, but I would put a few strips of this down. But we're not going to worry about that right now. We're just going to get this put on here. And there we go. And then add your flower. Oops, that's crooked.
Because you're
Wow.
trying to hurry.
Exactly, right? Yeah, I put it on and I'm thinking, okay, the stem's not supposed to be all the way over to the right. All right. There we go. Now we're straight. Okay, so then you've got your flower there. And then what I did from there is I took this Hello stamp. And this is the stamp set. Here, let me show you. This is from Thermoweb. So it's got 3 different sizes of hello. And it also has the dies to cut it all out, to cut them out. So I love that. So what I did then, of course, was just took my stamp pad here. I really need to get my Gina K black one because I really, really like that one. All right, so then we're going to stamp this down. There we go. And then, of course, like I said, it's got the die cut so you can cut it out. I'm not going to do that because it'll take too long for me to pull out my machine and all that. So I'm just going to fussy cut it real quick. I can hear my baby. She's whining at the door. She wants to come in and lay down. All right, so we're just going to trim that up just a little bit. And then again, I added another piece of foam tape to the back. Just so that could pop up a little bit better. Oh, I don't need these. And then we're going to add this right down here in the corner. And then last but not least, I had some of these really cool gem stickers. So what I did was I just cut it. I had them in long strips. So this is just pieces that I cut out from the long strip. So I just took this and then peeled it off. There we go. And then you're just going to stick this up in the corner up here. And that's just going to give it a little bit of shimmer and shine to your project. A little bit of bling there. Always makes you happy, right? So there it is. Now, what I would do before I finish this off, I would take it and seal it with a sealer. Just a light coat of a spray sealer is fine. You don't have to do that, but if you do, the colors are going to come out a little bit nicer. So, it's up to you if you want to do it or not. But there we go. So there's the 2. And then you can see here what I did on my finished one, which I forgot to do here, was to go back and add a little bit darker, the darker orange in the flower here. But you can see it off of this one. And that's it. So that's really a very simple way to watercolor. All right. So you guys talk amongst yourselves while I switch cameras.
Okay, I'm going to read some of your comments.
Okay.
Linda, the watercolors that were used were Van Gogh by Royal Talens. That is, so they're right here. So it's Van Gogh. You can get them. I know they have them at Michael's and Hobby Lobby, or in fine art stores. Because she missed the very beginning when we said that.
Okay.
Amy said that she visited Picasso exhibit in Cincinnati last week, and art can be anything you want. His later work
Exactly.
is proof of that, and that is so true. I mean, it's so true.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Brenda
and then,
said, I think that my problem is when I try to do coloring of most sorts, I overthink it. I know. It's so easy to do that, right? I mean,
yep,
we get in our heads
yep,
and we think, oh my gosh, it's too complicated. It's not turning out the way I want it to. Just play,
exactly,
you know.
exactly. And don't be afraid. And if you don't like it, it's only paper. So pitch it and try again. The thing
And
is,
with watercoloring, you can go over it on top
yes,
too.
yeah. So I mean,
Yeah,
it's
play.
not something to be afraid of. Just but I know that I do the same exact thing. I overthink things. Last night when I was finishing my card, I was like, oh, do I want to add bling over here? Do I want to add, and sometimes I just have to stop and go, it's okay. It
Breathe.
looks great the way it is. Leave it alone.
It's
So
true.
it
And,
is true.
you know, I mean, that would have been perfect even if you had not fussy cut it and you
Yep.
just framed it in that white and put it
Yes.
on a card. That would have been beautiful too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's so many things.
Yeah. And watercoloring, it's not that big of a deal. You just, if you just remember when you're starting out, like I'm using flowers obviously as an example because I did, but if you just remember to start out here,
Lift it up. Yep.
your colors, whoops, there we go. If you just remember to start out in the center of your flower with your darker color and then pull the color back to the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was not looking to, create a masterpiece when I did this. I just wanted to show you how easy it is to do. So I didn't care if this isn't the right color for this flower. I
Right.
didn't care. This was my flower. I wanted it my color. So there you go.
Yeah, right. And Dorothy said she finds it relaxing and
Yes,
flow sets are very forgiving. That's so true.
it is.
Watercolors, you know, you can just add more water.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah. And the thing is, that I love, love, love my watercolor pencils. I absolutely
she
love them.
does.
Um, but like I said, once you start coloring and you lay that color down, you guys, you can't go back in and erase it. I mean, you might be able to pick up a little bit with an eraser, but you're not going to get it all. With these, if you lay too much down, you just add the water to pull it up.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't always do that with pencils.
Yeah,
So
true.
either way. And then also you can, mix colors.
Mm-hmm.
Take the set that you're going to buy, take the set and, create colors with the set.
Yep. Yep.
You know?
Because this particular set has white in it. So
Yes.
you can totally make pink with the red and you can just make your own colors, which is awesome.
Yeah, and I wanted to do that with the purple. I wanted to do it last night to make it a little bit lighter because, as I said, it was kind of dark.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just taking too much time to mix it to get the right color that I wanted, and so I didn't do it. I didn't do that, but that was always an option. So
Yeah, it is. we are going to be back at 2 o'clock. I am going to show you some techniques for watercoloring. So I'm going to be using salt and rubbing alcohol and baby wipes and just show you some fun techniques that, so we'll be just creating a bunch of card backgrounds that can be used later. But
Yep.
I love techniques, so I thought that's why I would share.
Me too. And I love when you share techniques, because sometimes you'll do a technique that, one, I may not know, or two, I completely forgot about over the years. So it's kind of fun to, to see what you come up with.
Yes.
So yeah. All right, you guys. So don't forget to like, comment, and share my video here, or our video here. Hashtag Bella Crafts to enter for that giveaway from Royal Talens. Thank you,
Yes.
Royal Talens. That was pretty awesome. And then after Anne's live, we're going to announce the winner of the $50 gift card from last week from the Stamps of Life. Yes. So
Yep.
we will do that at her live. Okay. All right, you guys. So we will see you back here in about 45 minutes.
Yes. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate it every time.
Yes. Yes, we do. And like we always say every week, don't forget to take some time to craft, because it's good for your soul.
It is.
It really is. All right, you guys. Take care.
Bye.